There are principles which needs to be done for keeping a man at home or in a relationship. There are some things that women need to consider or start doing for a man not to dodge away from that relationship or that marriage. No matter how beautiful a woman is, but when these things are not done accordingly, when these things are not followed and reciprocated accordingly, most men, 99% of men, usually don't enjoy being in that relationship. 99% of men usually don't love being with such kind of women. Hi lovely people, thank you so much for reaching to this channel. If you're reaching this channel for the first time, my name is Godwin. I mostly make videos about relationship and marriage. If that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing to the channel, that every time when I make videos like this one, you'll be the first person to know. In this video, I'm going to highlight 6 things that pushes men away from that relationship or that marriage if you're married. Number 1 thing is to be with a woman who lacks gratitude or appreciation. Most of the times, most of us men, we need women who appreciate. We need women who motivates us. We need women who encourage us to keep doing the best, to keep doing and persisting in hard times, to keep persisting in being responsible. There are sometimes in relationship, there are sometimes in marriages where like things, you are expecting a certain things to happen, but it's not happening accordingly. Maybe because of a particular time hasn't just come to your aid, whereby that thing just have to not like happen because it's not yet the right time. But when you have a certain woman, when you are being found with this woman whereby she doesn't motivate you, she doesn't appreciate that little thing that you have, most men gets to be pressurized. Most men get away in that right direction. They start doing other things which is not right. They start getting out of their way just for the sake of him, trying to impress or just to please that woman. And some of these characters, which women usually most start doing, this pushes them away. This pushes men away from that marriage and keeps them dodging because they feel panic and they feel to be pressurized because they are with a woman who is not understanding, and they are with a woman who can't understand and listen to them. Let me also talk about a woman who most of the times compare. Try to be like this person, try to be like James, try to be like Peter. One thing that frustrates men is to be compared to some other friends. Okay? One thing that turns off men is to be told like, you need to be that person. It's like telling them off that you're not better unless you become like that person, which is very wrong and which is a high red flag when it comes to men understanding, when it comes to men, inborn power. I'm not saying that men, they're all the time right, but if there are some characters which they're most of the times missing out, I'm mostly emphasizing most of these videos that a relationship, it can only be successful through mutual open communication. Okay, if you are a woman, you have seen that these characters that your man is not doing right, sit down together as a couple, you talk over it, you discuss on how you are going to improve on the level that you are actually going behind. You try to to communicate as a couple, as a marriage, as a home, so that you keep improving each and every time. This way you are going to see that union that you are in with is going out smooth. That union that you are going with is not that difficult. because communication is most of the key cardinal point in every relationship and marriage. Let me also talk about telling of a man that is not strong enough. Yes, quite alright, there are some men who are just lazing around. There are some men who are not serious with their lives. There are some responsible men that I speak that no, they can't even do anything. You know, they are the kind of a people, like, you know, they can able just to sell off their responsibility as a man in a home. They can able just to sell off their, you know, their tangible power in a home to a woman, just because they're not just responsible at all. But when you're found with such kind of men, when you are being found with such kind of a man in your house or in your relationship, sit down together, try to find ways, means, so that you try to motivate that man. You try, you know, to building positive words, to building positive encouragement in that man, so that he start reasoning positively. He start reasoning like other responsible men doing in this society or community at large. That's how it goes about men who raise around. It's totally wrong telling of a man that is not strong enough. It's totally wrong using a man that is not capable of doing some certain things, even if he is that kind of a person. But try to find a polite way, try to find a good way, so that the way you come up with that comment, the way you come up with that concern, definitely is going to touch his heart, it's going to touch his soul, so that that relationship is not destroyed but is built and also solidified. Let me also talk about, it pushes men away with a woman who yells or raises voice at every problem that encountered in a relationship. Most women, they found men to be dodging because they don't know how to be polite. They don't know on how to approach men. They don't know on how to start up conversation with men. A woman, when you have seen a certain problems, when you want to control a man, you need to use emotional intelligence. You need to use wisdom. More especially if he has done something wrong, you need to find a certain and right time whereby you politely start up a communication. Yelling or raising your voice, it can only sort out that problem, right? But it can only waste that problem and leads to relationship destruction. Or if you are married, marriage destruction will start and falling off. This, if you follow this, you find success in your relationship. You follow this, you find success in your marriage. Let me also talk about, a woman must have listening ear, must be actively a listener. Okay, there are sometimes things might not be working according to how you are expecting. There might be things not being done according to how you thought it can be done. But when a man explains his concern to you, try to give him a listening ear. Try to pay attention to what has caused that thing to be happening. But when you are failing to do that, when you are lacking to do that, when you are being found like confused, or what you just want just to be your side and your side only without actively listening, these are the one of the red flags that pushes men away from that relationship and marriage. Women must learn to be actively listeners. Let me also talk about communication. A woman, when you have a certain problem, when you have a certain issue, when you are concerned with a certain problems, when you have something what you are not happy about in that relationship, what you are not feeling comfortable in that marriage, the only best solution, as I always emphasize in most of my videos, is communicate. Communicate openly, timely, and know the right time. Approach that man, communicate it, and talk over it. A responsible man, a well-matured man, will always listen to you and work on that and work as a team, and your relationship or marriage will always be successful. Thank you so much for your time, for reaching this video to the end. I really appreciate that. If you are the person reaching this channel for the first time, you love such kind of content, consider subscribing to the channel, that every time when I make videos like this one, you'll be the first person to know. Stay good and stay tuned until I see you in the next episode.